of Sportstime is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome into Sports Time on a Wednesday. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure studios for the next 3 hours in a very, very busy day in the sports world today, and really some unfortunate news out of Kansas City that we'll have to talk about to start the show. But we've got you for the next 3 hours. Going to talk a lot college basketball, NFL, a lot of news today. Brett, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing well, Bryant. The Kansas City news is just awful.
Yeah.
With everybody there to celebrate today, and another mass shooting, multiple people hurt and shooting at the Chiefs parade. Have any perished?
Yeah, so I've seen report that at least one has died. I saw, I think nine people were shot, is what's being reported right now. 2 people were taken into custody. They were armed when the police found them. So I guess very clear to identify who they were.
Premeditated, they went to harm?
Yeah, it sounds like it. And so, if you can take a any sort of good news out of this is it happened after the parade was over, so kind of less people in the area than would have been there even an hour earlier.
Boston Marathon.
Right, exactly. And I mean it was I think 10 people now.
That was a bomb.
Yeah, I mean 10 people right now, I mean that could have very easily, if they had done it an hour earlier, a couple hours earlier, could have very easily been 20, 30 people at the very least. So no, I mean definitely sad. I mean what was a fun, interesting day with Travis Kelce, and Travis Kelce was on a different planet today during that parade. I think most of the team was with back-to-back Super Bowls. You do it big, once last year, and you got to top it the next year. But, then to have this sort of tragedy just, minutes after it was done. I mean, we thought this was going to be
really
a fun day in Kansas City, and now
sun
it's
splashed
into
in Kansas City like it is here.
Yeah, no, really, really good weather that we've had the past couple of days, but certainly sad news out of Kansas City.
It is, and I don't get it.
No, I don't either, and I'm sure we'll learn more information from this because, I mean, it was, like I said, I mean, the parade was over. It felt like, everything was done for the day, and, then you get these breaking news and the reporting that, police are running into a building or running to the side of a building because, gunshots were heard, and, it's just turned from a great day in Kansas City to a terrible day in Kansas City.
And it puts us all on alert. Everybody has to be conscious of could this happen at our event?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so it's really, really sad. I hate seeing stories like this, and it seems like we get them way, way more than we should.
Shooters apprehended?
Yes. So they took 2 into custody, and like I said, it sounds like from the reporting, and obviously this is still very fresh. I mean, this has all happened in the last 30 minutes or so, but it sounds like from the reporting I've seen is that when the police, I don't know if it was inside a building or outside of a building, but when they got to where this was happening, they found 2 armed individuals. So very clear that those were the guys.
Were they arrested without incident?
It sounds like it. It doesn't sound like there was anything too much that they found them, arrested them, able to get them, and they surrendered. So that is good news. But certainly the bad news is at least right now 10 people wounded, and I believe 1 reported has died from the injuries.
Almost impossible to transition from that. But the parade route through downtown, and I think was ending near where the site of the new baseball park will be built.
Really?
$2 billion ballpark. Yeah. I've never been to Kauffman Stadium, Royal Stadium, that sits right beside Arrowhead, but they're going downtown because that's a little removed, and it's a great stadium for everybody that's ever been there, but I've never been.
No, I haven't either, but I've heard good things. But I had a teacher in high school that was a huge Kansas City Royals fan, and that was when they were winning and won a World Series in there.
Was his tie at all back to the days where we were the Double-A team?
No, he was from that area, and so he was a huge fan, and so I would always talk Royal, and that's really where I kind of first started paying attention to the Royals a little bit.
I had a couple of good chances to go guy trip both to Chiefs games and to my regret, didn't go to that and didn't go to Royals.
Yeah.
And was pretty snotty about the Royals when they were getting up a trip. I go to real baseball. I go to National League baseball.
Well, I mean, it's a good answer.
But I wish I had now.
Yeah.
And legendary time.
Sure.
Had ball. No, the only time I've ever been to Kansas City was for the regional in '95 when Arkansas and the Tigers met on Friday night in that classic. And then the next game was a classic too that night. Virginia upsetting Kansas.
Wow.
And then on Sunday, Arkansas and Virginia had a really good game.
Yeah.
And Arkansas was able to win that and go to back-to-back Final Fours. That's the only time I've ever been. But I like what the new ballpark looks like.
Oh,
and,
man.
and I bring that up, not just to transition, but also this. I mean, for anybody that thinks Major League Baseball is dead or dying, these ownership groups aren't spending $2 billion for a product that's not going to be there in 10 years.
No, and you see not just the Kansas City Royals. I mean, just a couple weeks ago, the Chicago White Sox put out some renderings for a new stadium. We know the A's with their hopeful, I guess at this point we should call it, move to Los Angeles. So, there are a lot of franchises that are, making these big moves and big upgrades. And you're right, they're not doing that if they don't see any value in it. I mean, if
the Oakland A's aren't contracted, nobody's getting contracted.
Right. And Brett, these people that are making these decisions in these organizations are sports fans, but they're business people, and they are going to make business decisions, and they're not going to make bad ones.
Now, that new ballpark that will be open in Kansas City season of 28 maybe, only going to seat about 33,000. That's the new thing, too, for baseball.
Yeah, that is the new thing.
Small capacities, very expensive tickets.
Yes, and people are not going to like that, especially with the ticket pricing. But I don't hate it.
We've knocked out the cheap ticket in sports.
We have, and I hate it. I really
do
too. Because I remember when I was in high school and stuff, and getting those. Oh, we can go see the Grizzlies for $6 and sit top, it doesn't matter where we sit. We just want to go see the game. And same thing, I remember a couple of my buddies just a couple of years ago, wanting to go to Atlanta and go see a baseball game, want to go up to St. Louis to see a baseball game. And they said, man, we can get, cheap, bad tickets for $9.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that.
There's not any.
Soon we're going to get completely away.
And then if you are fortunate enough to find something reasonable for who knew this is reasonable, $35. It's a lot of money to me.
A lot of money, yeah.
Then you go to the concession stand.
Oh, they tax.
Oh man!
You're gonna spend some money.
It is now. You don't have to, but we want to.
Right. Well, and Brett,
there's a lot of things I don't have to do that I want to do.
Right.
Yeah, that is true. That's completely true.
On top of that, now even ticket, they're $35. But then on top of that, if you're buying them from some of these sites, I mean, you've got taxes and fees and all of that on top of it. I mean, I remember a couple years ago going to, I guess 2 years ago, Grizzlies playoff game.
Yeah.
And the ticket was like, I don't know, they were probably like $100
Minnesota?
a pop. And it was Minnesota. Yeah. I mean, very last row, last seats available, like $100.
Yeah.
A seat. And getting out of there, it was almost like each ticket was like $175 a piece. I mean, after all of the fees and everything.
Yeah.
And that's become big nowadays. And so, I mean, you're going to these games and you're spending, you'd be lucky if you leave there not spending $75.
That's
depending
true.
on who you go with, and if you're a family going, I mean,
it's more
than that parking now.
Oh, great point, Brett. That's a great point.
I remember this year, went to Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium for a Tigers game. The game with my buddies that wanted to leave early.
Oh, those people.
And I had to...
The Boise game.
Yeah, the Boise game. And
I'm still mad at them.
Yeah, no.
I kid.
I'm surprised you remember the game. No, it was the Boise game. But parking, I had to pay because they only took card, and I was the only one that had my card. So I had to pay for parking. We split the tickets, but then I got in there.
Right, you're with other 20-year-olds and they didn't have a card?
Well, they had their card, but they were like, my card's in my bag in the back or something like that. I was going to get it when we parked, and I was like, fine, I've got my card right here.
I had a buddy back today. All I got is $100. They'll take it.
Yeah, they'll take it. Yeah.
Hey, I like that, Brett.
They'll take it. But and then, silly me, we get into the game. I'm going
Needed
to
that $5.
Had to.
When he'd say you had $100.
But, we get in there, and I'm going to the concession stand. I'm like, hey, man, you want anything from the concession stand? He's like, oh, yeah, well, now I got to pay for that. And, I mean, I probably spent $100.
Johnny, I said it.
Great guy.
Brian needs new friends.
Hey, Brian's a great guy, man.
I think I spent $100 at that game.
You're a great guy,
Brian. It was just me.
But they took care of you back.
I had to force them to. He was like, dude, I got you on dinner. And then we left the game. We get back to his house.
Let's head to McDonald's.
Yeah. No, worse, Brett. We get back to his house, and I was like, all right, so you buying my dinner? And he goes, oh man, I was supposed to go meet up with this girl tonight. It's like, dude,
tough luck.
I spent like $50 on our lunch, and you can't even get me back. Well, whatever. He ended up paying for a dinner later, which was more expensive than we would have gotten. One of them might be. One of them certainly might be, because he drives around while working and listens, so he very well might be. But no, I mean it's interesting. But I do every time I see a rendering for one of these.
You'll get a text in a minute. Brian, tell that old man to go to hell.
Well, Brett, I got a text message earlier today when I was talking to John, and I always call Xavier. I just whatever. And my buddy immediately texts me, "You pronounce Xavier wrong." I go, I don't care. I do not care that he was like, "There's no E at the beginning of it," and I was like, "It's Xavier."
Musketeers.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Okay, but I mean I don't know if I'd correct anyone.
No, but he felt the need to.
Then there was Xavier Henry.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Mike DeCourcy corrected me on there when I called him Xavier.
That's great.
He said no,
Xavier.
That's
love
Xavier.
That. Oh, love that. I love that. But no, whenever I see a rendering now for one of these stadiums, I immediately think about you, Brett, because I mean they always look so beautiful.
So
the Kansas City one, when I saw it, man, that's a beautiful stadium. Hopefully it looks half that good.
Was she there today?
She was not. No. John, with the breaking news earlier today, he said that he had learned that she had a, concert in Australia or something like that. Girls gotta work. I mean, gotta work. I mean,
that's true.
She can only be to so many.
These bills aren't gonna pay themselves, Johnny.
It's not cheap.
No, it is not. So no, she was not there, and I'm sure there were a lot of people there trying to get
the Air Force tracking of her coming back.
Crazy.
Like it was Santa with NORAD on Christmas.
Yeah,
Eve.
I seen that. I seen that.
I mean, it's a big story. We got a tracker, and that was the second after. But I'm not kidding. The second after.
Our government wouldn't lie to us, would they? They're tracking Santa on Christmas Eve.
That's right. Well, and also Taylor Swift. No, but the second after the Chiefs punched their ticket to the Super Bowl, the first thing I get on Twitter, first thing I see is. Taylor Swift has to perform in Tokyo the night before. Can she make it? Here's the whole graph of how she can do it. I mean, that's where we were at with the whole Taylor Swift thing, and it's beautiful. It's great. I've heard all these stories of people saying my 14-year-old daughter never watches the NFL, but now because of Taylor Swift, she knows what a touchdown is. I mean, it's just beautiful, Brett.
The more it brings in, that's fine.
I'm here for it.
I'm not that moved by it either way.
No.
But it didn't repulse me when they would show her. I wasn't ready to go full Elvis on my TV.
Taylor. Oh, that's great.
May have repulsed Steve Wilkes.
Oh, man.
49er D coordinator.
He's gonna have nightmares of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift.
A time or two. I'm going to say 2 times. I was going to say a time or two. It was about 2 times. Mm-hmm. I'm going, in the name of all things holy, try blitzing once.
Try something.
Because you're laying back and he's shredding you like he does everybody.
Yeah. Well, and this shouldn't be an excuse. You're in the Super Bowl. I mean, he lost one of his best defensive players on the second drive of the game, just trying to run back onto the field.
That was crazy, man.
Oh, man, that was a huge loss.
That's a big loss.
Big loss. But, shreds an Achilles just spread on field.
And that can hurt his young career.
It could.
That's one of them injuries, man. That's one of them injuries. It's tough to come back from that.
Well, everybody's not Aaron Rodgers. He's back maybe by playoff time next year.
Yeah, I mean,
if that.
Yeah. If that. But I mean, I never really saw the 49ers this year and said, "Oh man, they've got to make a change. This is a Super Bowl winner if they make a change at defensive coordinator." And I was really surprised that they made that move.
I am too. And
I'm shocked.
Steve Wilkes at Mizzou was just awful in college, but it's a very different sport.
Absolutely, yeah. But I thought that 49ers defense was good, and
He'll get another job.
Oh, absolutely.
He's an NFL lifer.
Absolutely. No, he will get something. But that certainly some of the big news out of the NFL today that the 49ers, coming off of a Super Bowl defeat, will be looking for a new defensive coordinator.
I'm kind of blown away about Xavier. I didn't know if it was heavy influence on the X or not.
I always go Xavier. but I've been.
I think I go Xavier.
I always go Xavier.
I go Xavier.
I mean, heck, they have an X on their chest. I mean,
I go Xavier. That's how I pronounce it.
Yeah, who cares? Whatever. But that was the tag. In terms of what have your friends boosted?
And this is one of those freeloaders that went to the boys.
No. This was this different friend. Friend that was just randomly listening to. So Brian, what are your friends like? Well, they like to leave games early. They promise me meals and don't pay for it.
Johnny can't leave early. He knows he can't.
No.
Johnny's the last one to leave.
I'm there the whole game.
Yeah, no, that was one of the great things of watching Tiger football games last year, seeing shots of Johnny either on the telecast or being there and seeing Johnny on the sideline, be like, "There's Johnny!"
I seen Connor at a game.
Yeah, a road game.
That was UAB, legendary.
Connor is screaming from the UAB student section, "Johnny!" So I'm sure Johnny's on the field.
I turned around. I said, "Connor!"
I'm sure you're terrified. I mean, you're at a visitor's place.
Yeah, I was. I said, "Who is that?"
Like, oh my gosh!
Johnny,
Connor.
we get to the stadium when nobody's there. Everybody's there, and then nobody's
there.
You get all.
That's
of
my
it.
life.
You get the entire 360. Well, let me run down today's show for the next 3 hours. 3:30. We're gonna do something a little different.
In the name of love.
In the name of love.
You too.
Love it, like it, or not like, and we'll bring up some topics and pose it. Do we like it? Do we love it? Or do we not really like it on the day of love today? For Valentine's Day. 3:45, we'll talk some Grizzlies as they continue to fight, and they're back in action. So we'll talk a little bit about what will go down tonight as they host Dillon Brooks again and the Houston Rockets. 4 o'clock, Blake Lovell from the Southeastern 14 will join us to talk some college basketball in the SEC. A lot to get to. Kentucky, they get back to their winning ways last night with a win over Ole Miss. Vanderbilt gets their second win in conference play with a win over Texas A&M last night, a last-second buzzer beater. So a lot to get to and some really good games tonight in the SEC. We'll talk to Blake about that at 4 o'clock. 4:30, we'll talk some NBA. 4:45, we'll get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Kevin Sweeney from College Basketball Central will join us to talk some more college basketball. The big news in the college basketball world today, Chris Holtmann has been fired from Ohio State.
$14 million buyout.
Crazy. I did not expect that to happen, especially mid-season. So we'll talk a lot about that with Kevin and all over the country in college basketball. We'll get to that at 5 o'clock. 5:30, we'll get to what's trending. At 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Taco Bell Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Get over there for the floor model sale. All floor model patio sets are priced to move. Wicker sofa set, under $2,000. Closeout patio cushions, as low as $25. Pool tables, under $1,500. Theater seating, under $2,000. 4-person hot tubs, now under $5,000. Infrared and traditional steam saunas are 25% off. Get ready for summer and purchase your above-ground pool now to get first in line for installation. Their special financing, it's still available, but only at Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40.
Produced by Johnny Hill, this is Sports Time. I'm Brett. He's Bryant. We're with you until 6 o'clock, and we want you to be a part of our show at 901-360-8255. This hour brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2024 models and always special leasing options. Call them at 901-334-9673, the one and only Lexus dealership in town. Drive in luxury and confidence, knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by today at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of all-new 2024 flagship LS500. You'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day is what we started the show on. Kansas City, they win the Super Bowl. They have their parade today. I'll be honest, I didn't even know their parade was going off today. I actually thought it was tomorrow for some reason, but the parade was today. A really, really good crowd, it looked like, on hand for Kansas City. It looked like, for most time, while the parade was actually happening, the team had fun. The fans were having fun. I've seen so many great videos today of guys just celebrating and having fun. Travis Kelce may or may not have had a little too much to drink before showing up to the parade.
Probably been partying hard since Sunday night about
I'm sure
9 o'clock.
has not stopped partying since winning the Super Bowl. But
now we're at the emergency room.
Now this has turned from a sports story to a legit news story, as not just ESPN, not just CBS Sports, not just Fox Sports. Every Fox, ABC, CBS, every network is talking about this story. Right now, we've got it on the ESPN right now. 10 people shot, 3 in critical condition. 1 has already been ruled dead. So just a absolutely terrible scene in Kansas City right now.
It really is. Makes my top and night very pale. My top story, Grizzlies at home tonight against Houston. Houston is favored. Will the Grizzlies be favored again this year? Haven't been favored at home since Toronto on January 3rd. They were favored Saturday night in Charlotte. Houston 3-0 against the Grizzlies this year. Only 1 close game in that 3. A championship window is probably more open in Memphis than it is in Houston next year. But the Rockets are getting better. 9-game losing streak for the Grizzlies. 9-26 versus opponents with winning records. Houston 16-13 against teams with a winning record. DB back in town. I'm sure he'll have a bouquet of flowers for us.
I'm sure.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day, the big story in college basketball today, Ohio State has parted ways with head coach Chris Holtmann, who, for the most part, has done a good job at Ohio State.
You think Ross Bjork keeps that $14 million to pay him out just in the top drawer, or actually in a safe at Ohio State?
Well, that is a great question. I don't know where he puts it, but I'm sure it would not be hard to find. I mean, you look back over the last couple of seasons, in Ohio State, year in, year out, has had a top 20 offense. Has been really, really good and had a really good stretch right when Chris Holtmann took over for Thad Matta, where, they were in the NCAA tournament and, were playing really, really well. I think I heard somewhere earlier today that they would have been a 5 seed in the 2020 tournament that we didn't have. They were, I believe, a 5 seed the year before that. So had a really good run, but then kind of tripped up last year and really struggled in Big Ten play, but made it pretty deep in the Big Ten Conference Tournament. And then this year, the first year in the last, I believe, 5 seasons that they have not had a top 20 offense, 46 offense, 124th in adjusted defensive efficiency this season, who have really struggled. Only 2 wins in conference play this year. Maryland, that took place on Saturday. Penn State, that took place back on January 20th, and then Rutgers, so 3 wins in conference to start the season. Outside of that, all losses, coming off a 62-54 loss on the road last night against Wisconsin. I think a lot of people were blindsided by this move. Some people thought that maybe if he could get up to 19, 20 wins this year, that maybe they would keep him, maybe, give him the rest of the season, but a firing mid-year was definitely a surprise.
A lot of people have taken a swing at Ohio State in basketball, and they haven't won it all. Unfortunately, the Tigers saw them in kind of their best years with Mike Conley and Greg Oden. My not top story, just how good is the SEC in basketball? And I hate getting to that question like I do in football, but we're there. Most say 9 bids. I say 8. South Carolina tonight at Auburn. Who's a real Final Four team in the SEC? It might be a lot of bids, but no Final Four, and that sounds like the Big Ten.
Yeah.
And the Big Ten hadn't won it since 2000, but the SEC hadn't won a national championship since 2012 when John Calipari won it in New Orleans with Anthony Davis and the Kentucky Wildcats. Who is the second best team or second best conference out there? We know the Big 12's won. Is it the SEC? I don't know. We got to see down the stretch, and I think the tournament proves who's really the better conferences are. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I'd say Big East certainly up there in conversation for one of the top conferences. But yeah, that's a good question.
ACC's not.
No, not the ACC. But if I had to rank them, I would probably say Big 12, Big East, and then SEC, and then probably Big 10. And then maybe ACC in front of Pac-12.
Is the
really
Big East, is it more than just UConn?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Marquette's number 4 right now, I think. Providence has been playing well. I don't think they're ranked, but they've been playing well. St. John's has been frisky this year. No, they've got some really good teams. I'd probably put them second in my list, but going to be interesting. That game tonight, you mentioned it, South Carolina and Auburn. I was blown away. Right now, Auburn an 11.5-point favorite at home.
Big favorite at home. The most intimidating home court advantage in these days. I know historically there have been other places, but right now it's on the plains.
Yeah, that's going to be a really, really fun game to watch later tonight. We'll talk more about it as we get through this show, but that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to our first break. When we return, we'll get to some Valentine's Day love in the air. Love it, like it, not really like it. We'll do that next.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
Join the Heindel Center for the Performing Arts for an evening with Cal Ripken Jr. February 22nd and celebrate a true champion. Ironman Cal Ripken Jr. played 2,632 consecutive games for the Baltimore Orioles. This 19-time All-Star, 2-time American League MVP, and Baseball Hall of Fame inductee is a true baseball icon. Get tickets at HeindelCenter.org to see Cal Ripken Jr. 7:30 p.m. Thursday, February 22nd at the Heindel Center for the Performing Arts on the campus of Northwest Mississippi Community College in Senatobia.
Hi, folks. The Chevy Sheriff with good news for car and truck buyers. The Sunrise Chevy Ranch has acres of new Chevys and GM certified in stock and ready for immediate delivery. A $6 million used car inventory with cars and trucks for every budget, and a lot specializing in cars and trucks under $99.95. If you've been turned down by another dealer, see us at Sunrise. We specialize in secondary financing, and Sunrise is the home of guaranteed credit approval. Immediate financing available. Cars and trucks may not be free, but at least they're affordable at Sunrise. Find new roads to the Sunrise Chevy Ranch, 385 in Houston, Levy, and Collierville.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous, serving the official barbecue of the Memphis Grizzlies.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
This holiday season, give the gift of Gould's with a Gould's gift card for someone you love. It's the perfect gift for everyone. The Gould's gift card doesn't just send wishes, it grants them in-store and online. Just come to any Gould's and pick up a gift card or go to GouldSalonSpa.com to purchase online. That's GouldSalonSpa.com. Happy holidays from Gould's. Gould's Salon Spa, locally owned and operated since 1932.
All 650 acquisition fee. Forte RE722-812, MSRP 21590. Sorrento PG 242710, MSRP 33010. Telluride RG 462-822, MSRP 38705. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 2/29/24 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Hey, Jeff Allen, you ready to get this party started at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
You bet I am, Randy. Gossett's got your new Kia that gets 41 MPG highway. 2024 Kia Forte LXS, $239 a month. $27.99 due at signing. Need extra room? How about a 2023 Kia Sorrento LX at $319 a month, $34.99 due at signing, and a 2024 Kia Telluride S all-wheel drive, $459 a month, $34.99 due at signing, all 36-month lease.
Plus, get peace of mind because with every Gossett Kia, you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
2680 Mount Moriah or online, KiaMountMoriah.com.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawa Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure studios, and we're about to get to what should be a really fun segment, Love It, Like It, or Not Really Like It. And but before we do that, I do want to tell you about something I loved growing up, and that was Cal Ripken. I mean, I remember one of the first pennants I had in my room was a Cal Ripken Jr. pennant for the record he had broken, and I'm really excited. I've been hearing the commercials that we've been running. I'm really excited. He will be in the area at Northwest Mississippi Community College. So join the Heidel Center for the Performing Arts for an event with Cal Ripken Jr. on Thursday, February 22nd. So next Thursday, hear the legendary Baseball Hall of Famer whose remarkable career celebrates the dedication it takes to become a true champion. Known as the Iron Man, Cal Ripken Jr. solidified his legacy by playing an astonishing 2,632 consecutive games for the Baltimore Orioles. A 19-time All-Star, 2-time American League MVP, and Baseball Hall of Fame inductee. He defied expectations and redefined the shortstop position, leaving an incredible mark on the sport. Don't miss your chance to celebrate the legacy of a true baseball icon. You can get tickets at heidelcenter.org to see Cal Ripken Jr. That's HEINDL. Center.org to see Cal Ripken Jr. 7:30 p.m. on Thursday, February 22nd at the Heidel Center of the Performing Arts on the campus of Northwest Mississippi Community College in Senatobia. I'm so excited about this, and we're actually going to give away, we've got a handful of tickets to give away. We're going to give away one pair right now. So if you want to go see Cal Ripken Jr., just one of the greats in baseball history down in Senatobia next Thursday night, call in right now. We'll take the second caller that calls in. You're going to see Cal Ripken Jr. talk about his life, his legacy, his time in Major League Baseball next Thursday, and also might be a great Valentine's Day present. Maybe you did a little, dilly-dallying and didn't really,
Well, you're in trouble.
But hey, you might not be, because this sounds like a great gift. And if you don't win them today, we're going to be giving out a lot. We've got a couple of pairs to give away this week, so we'll be giving those out all week. So if you miss your chance today, don't worry. Keep listening. We'll be giving them out all week long.
901-360-8255 to go see the great Cal Ripken. In that resume list, 1983 world champ, did it in his second year. Never got back to a World Series after the second year.
Crazy. I mean, that is...
Marino got to a Super Bowl his second year, but didn't win. Ripken got there in '83 with Joe Altobelli and company, and they won it.
And Cal Ripken really is, I mean, when you talk about guys to go just listen to talk about their life in baseball, I mean, that's at the top of my list, so I'm definitely going to have to get down there.
I got to see him in person a lot in those years. In I was in Washington, and that was DC's team, because they didn't have a team then, to go to Baltimore and watch the great Cal Ripken play. Yeah. He started that streak on May 30th, 1982. That was a Sunday afternoon. Yeah. And I'm going to say I was there about 2 weeks that year. I didn't get to D.C. that summer until that day. My brother got married on Saturday the 29th, and I got there on Sunday and then stayed all summer. Yeah. And I went for the first time about a week and a half, 2 weeks after that. So I saw like game 12 or 13.
Wow.
That was the first one. And then a couple others. And he was something to see. Played some third base, played a lot of shortstop, and legendary figure. Worked with a lady in Washington that worshiped him.
Really?
She would have left her husband for him. I mean, she loved Cal Ripken,
man.
and she cussed like a sailor, too.
That's great.
And she was the original IT person.
Yeah.
And it was very rudimentary back then. We had a fax machine, I promise you, as big as that credenza.
I believe it.
And she was the only one in the place that knew how to load the paper in.
Good for her.
And she would always come back here and just in a cussing fit when nobody else knew how to do
hilarious.
it. But she loved Cal Ripken.
That's great.
All right,
awesome.
Love it, like it, or not like it.
All right.
Number one, the analyst, Tony Romo. Love, like, or not like?
I'm going to say like, obviously, with my ties to Cowboys.
That's why I said analyst.
I still
not old number 9 love.
Oh man, when he started, it was love. I mean, do you remember that stretch that he was on when he first started, where it was like,
got him paid.
My gosh, how can this guy predict everything that they're gonna run? But this year, it has not been what it was his first year.
I thought it jumped. Mine's not like. I thought he jumped the shark this year.
Yeah,
and a little bit dragged Jim Nantz into silly land.
Yeah. I think you're right.
And he long since has not been calling the plays like that. But that's what got him paid.
Yeah.
Now, the Super Bowl did 123 million people viewed the Super Bowl. Would that had one less person if Tony Romo hadn't been there?
Not at all.
Not at all. If the analyst for Pittsburgh State in Pittsburgh, Kansas had been sitting there with Nantz, would that have drawn one less human?
No. Not at all. Not
in
at
the
all.
world are they paying that kind of money?
It's a good question.
I mean, does it bring in that?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So what is the cost benefit of Tony Romo at $22 million a year?
Well, I think, like you said, I mean, it was that first year of him going out there, and he was a star. I mean, every Sunday afternoon, the biggest topic in the NFL was what play did he predict? And so I think that's what got him ultimately paid, and I think that's why they're paying him, is because they kind of got stuck. And I really hate that. Okay, my first for love it, like it, or not like, the Cowboys sticking with Mike McCarthy as their head coach.
Just like.
Yeah.
Don't love.
Yeah.
And as I've said a couple times, don't start 0-3. Maybe not even have any disunity at camp.
Yeah.
With all the players tweeting, with all the players kind of in a state of uproar with the Cowboys, they've got to settle that down.
Yeah, no, they've definitely got to settle that down, and it's not just the Cowboys. There are other places that have that.
Here's why I just like it, and it's not dislike. Who you going to hire?
Exactly.
And don't say Jerry Jones can get anybody he wants. You know the pool of candidates. I mean, he's not going. And Bill Belichick was out there.
Yeah.
And I don't think he wanted him.
I don't think so. I mean, it would have been tough. It would have been really tough. So, no, I like it. I think I'm closer to love than like, just because maybe give him another year, see what can happen. But you're right. You cannot start 0-3. You cannot struggle early.
This statement, Caleb Williams is better than Justin Fields.
Ooh. I'm going to say I don't like it. I don't like it because when Justin Fields was coming out of college, not the extreme hype of Caleb Williams, but we loved him. We thought he was going to be a game-changing quarterback, and it hasn't worked out.
Remember what he did
Chicago.
in the playoffs at
Ohio
State?
Absolutely. And I think, it might obviously completely different sports and completely different types of players, but Brett, you made the point, last week when the Grizzlies traded David Roddy and said, we were excited his first year. It was fun watching, but it just didn't work out with Memphis. Maybe you could say the same thing about Justin Fields in Chicago. It just didn't work out in Chicago. Maybe they trade him this offseason. Maybe something happens, a change happens, and he ends up being great at his next place. But I don't like that, even though I do like Caleb Williams. Okay, this statement, Brett. The Dodgers will win the World Series.
Don't like.
All right.
And don't want it to happen.
Well, I don't either.
I like that they just have the COVID championship really pulling against them. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of energy doing it during the 162, but come playoff time, because they're in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. Wouldn't that be wild if they missed it? I mean, if something just crazy happened and they missed out on the playoffs, I mean,
that's not going to happen. They've paid to punch some ticket.
Yes.
But I do not like. Mine, love, like, or not like. Future of the Grizzlies.
Like. No, love. I'll go love. I think this core that you have, I think what this year has become of figuring out you've got a guy like Vince Williams that I think you can rely on, and think about it. I mean, right now we're relying on Vince Williams to go out and be the guy every night, aside from Jaren. He's supposed to be your key defender. He's supposed to be one of your high scoring.
Really? They're going to have to make me love it.
I like it too, Bray. I just like it.
I just like it.
Yeah.
I want to turn into love.
But it's more like a like. More like a like.
I think
I'm going slow. I don't want to get burned, Johnny.
Don't. You can't move too fast.
It's probably a good idea, but I like this core that they have with Ja, Desmond, Jaron. I think you're starting to figure out those pieces.
The Grizzlies going to the finals. Remember that?
Well,
yeah,
Brett,
that year.
Brett, you also had the Chargers win the Super Bowl.
Hey, Brett, why he bring that up? Bad memories.
I mean, preseason expectations, they're high for everybody, Brett.
Heading into the playoffs 2 years ago.
Oh, into the playoffs.
In 2022.
Yes.
I thought the Grizzlies were going to the finals.
I agree.
Yeah. But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, let's see what they do this offseason. But I'm right now, I love it. That could change, though. Just like y'all's likes could change to loves. You never know. My next one, we'll stick with the Grizzlies on this one. The Grizzlies trade their lottery pick.
Don't like.
All right.
Like I said yesterday, I want to get a player. I'm not saying he has to do this, but I want him in the contention of Rookie of the Year conversation. I don't want another ninth man.
Yeah. So even the idea of a center and trading down, so you trade for a center and get like a 21st pick in the first round.
Now, I want to get a player, and I want that player to be able to make an impact. Love, like, or not like. Tigers at large bid.
I don't like.
Tigers
have dug themselves a hole. We talked about kind of what has gone into that and how it could have been different. But right now, I mean, we're all betting on the Tigers.
Our friend Shelby Mass, the only one that has them within this area code.
I mean, even sniffing the bracket. And so it's been tough. And maybe they can rattle off and win the rest of the way out. But
I just don't see it.
I think it's going to be really tough.
Lenardi's gone cold.
Yeah.
Jerry Palm's been a little indifferent.
Lenardi doesn't even have them as a team
you can't
to consider.
Find
I mean, they're not even, you go to a bracket, you can't even find their logo anywhere. I mean, at least on Jerry Palm, you can find it. Let's see. How about we stick with college basketball? Tennessee and Kentucky make the Sweet 16.
Dislike. Total contempt. Don't really trust Tennessee and Kentucky.
Yeah.
I know they won big last night, really controlled that game from about the 10-minute mark of the first half.
Sure.
They have the offensive firepower some nights. I don't know if they got the defense. Last night, Ole Miss is really down to about three guys, and that made it really easier for them to guard. Love, like, or not like. Everybody. I mean everybody. It's not just old Homer, Brett. It's everybody. Ole Miss is in everybody's top 8 for way too early college football playoffs next year. Love, like, or not like that everybody's got Ole Miss up there.
You know what, Brett?
Top 8 means if you're 5 through 12, you've won that campus game, and you've made it to the Elite 8, which will be traditional bowls around January 1.
Brett, I'm going to say I love it.
I love it. I love it. I can see it. I can see it.
I'm way closer to like than I am to full on love. I'm actually going to switch it. I only like it now.
I love it, and I expect it. Or it's a disappointing season.
Yeah. All right, I'm back to loving it.
I love it.
I mean, if Ole Miss goes 9-3 and goes to the Citrus Bowl, okay.
Well, Brett, I mean, I'll be honest.
Do that.
Yeah.
And it has. I was surprised with their performance against Penn State in the Peach Bowl. I mean,
man, that's a great point, Brian.
I was really surprised because
they showed up.
I think me and Connor split that bowl game, working up here producing it for whatever reason. And when I left at halftime, it was a very close game, very competitive game. And by the time I think I ran an errand and got home, by the time I was home,
third quarter
it was a blowout. And so that really shocked me, being able to bring
had
back
a lot of guys out of that game.
They did, but
Ole Miss was all in.
Yes, but bringing back what they're bringing back
Cedric Johnson.
Bringing back what they're bringing back, I think is going to be huge for this team. All right, love it, like it, or not like, Brett. I think I already know where you're going with this one. Cardinals missed the postseason in back-to-back seasons.
I dislike it because I love them and I want it different. But what did they do to make it any different in the end?
Good question. I don't know.
In that division, there to be had.
It is.
Even saw a story today that Pittsburgh could push to win that division.
Paul Skeens.
Yeah.
How about that? I actually saw a tweet just a couple minutes ago that the Cardinals are considering a 6-man rotation to start the regular season.
Well, that's good because they don't have 3.
I mean, that's a good point. I don't know where they're going to find their 6th man from, but
it's like somebody running a 3-4 because they don't have enough to run a 4-3.
No, they do not.
You have to. Last one for me: love, like, or not like. With Shaq's number 32 retired, should Orlando retire number 1 for Penny Hardaway?
Wow, that's a tough one. That might be the hardest one you've posed.
Shaq last night in the ceremony said Nick Anderson should have been first.
He did. That was awesome last night. We'll talk about that more about 4:30.
Now, do you remember the quote? Have you guys ever heard this quote from In the Day? This is Shaq's quote. This isn't Brett's quote. I'm just asking if y'all heard it. In the Day, Shaq was comparing the guards he had played with, Penny, Kobe, and Dwayne Wade, and he used this. You've heard it, the Godfather description. He said Kobe is Michael Corleone, the one that really got serious and got things done, including blowing 2 New York policemen's brains out. This second, he compared Dwayne Wade to Michael. He compared Kobe to Sonny, the hothead, and compared Penny to Fredo.
Yeah.
That is not complimentary. I mean, last night during the love affair, I'm going, do you remember that quote?
Yeah, well, they've certainly had their...
and time fixes everything.
Sure.
Time at parties fix everything.
I remember the, what was it, 3 years ago when they had the 30 for 30.
My original tragic Memphis radio prediction was the Magic to sweep the Rockets that year, and they got swept. We almost went.
Reverse. How about that?
Yeah.
Wow. I like it because I would love to see Penny's number retired for the Magic.
I think it should be.
I think it should be. I like it.
They put them on the map.
Absolutely, and I would love to see. I mean, that would be awesome. I mean, you think of Magic jerseys, and I would say Penny Hardaway's number 1 jersey for the Magic is one of the more iconic jerseys that you see really all across the country.
Nick Anderson bricked 2 free throws at the end of game 1.
Yeah.
That if they had won that whole series would have been different. I'm going down saying that.
He got swept, Brad.
1995, Brian. Guess where I was?
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yeah, always right here. Always right here. Well, we need to get to a break. That was really fun. A Valentine's Day tradition with love in the air. What do we love? What do we like? And what do we not really like? Well, let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we'll talk Grizzlies.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
At Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf, there's something that binds us all. The collective goal to transcend the ordinary. Introducing the Ping G430 Max 10K driver. Straighter flies farther with Ping's most forgiving driver ever made. The Max 10K. Come in today and test drive Ping's newest driver at Edwin Watts Golf Shops. Visit us at your local Edwin Watts Golf Shops or shop us online at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
We all appreciate luxury. We love the newest technology. We want something that sparkles and looks great. Well, I've got it all in one place. It's called Genesis of Olive Branch, right at the corner of Highway 78, that's Lamar, and the first exit in Mississippi, that's Craft Road. Turn left and you will see Genesis of Olive Branch. And right now, you can get the 2024 Genesis GV70 starting at $49,480 with special financing as low as 3.49% on select models. How about the 2024 Genesis GV80? A little bit bigger, starting at $55,995, financing as low as 5.49% with a $2,000 rebate when trading a luxury brand. Call them. They'll even bring you a Genesis at your work or your home for a test drive. They're convinced that when you drive a Genesis, you're going to want one. Call 662-890-6684. Ask for Vinny. Genesis of Olive Branch.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Crazy Coop, America's premier wing destination, has 27 delicious flavors to choose from and counting. Like the Buffalo Ranch, a perfect combo of ranch seasoning with a little kick. Mango Habanero, sweet taste of mango followed by the heat. Or sweet maple bourbon, the taste will remind you of chicken and waffles. And that's just 3 of the amazing 27 chicken wing seasonings that you can get at the Crazy Coop in Bartlett at 7199 Stage Road. And now open the Crazy Coop Express at 1315 Ridgeway off Poplar. Some like it hot. How about the Crazy Sweet Lemon Pepper Hot or Crazy Suicide? Can't take the heat? Get the 4-cheese roasted garlic or barbecue bacon bourbon. Ask about the $9.99 lunch special. Now those are some crazy good prices. The Crazy Coop, 2 locations, 7199 Highway 64 between Applin and Kirby Whitten, and 1315 Ridgeway off Poplar. Family owned and operated, The Crazy Coop, America's premier wing destination.
It's time to get thunderstruck during Gossett Mitsubishi's spring sales event at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Ready to get 43 MPG Highway? Check out the 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage. We Gossett, 18610 or $249 a month. Need extra room? 7-passenger seating in 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander SE, 33605 or $399.99 a month. And Gossett Mitsubishi's got sophisticated styling and comfort in 2024 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross, 31,200 or $449 a month. Plus, every Gossett Mitsubishi comes with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, and 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Mirage RH00591 MSRP 19110, Outlander RZO 19512 MSRP 34605, Eclipse RZO 10625 MSRP 317, includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, the Grizzlies are back in action tonight, and they'll get to see their old buddy Dillon Brooks. And I've heard some people, I haven't tuned into a Rockets game, but it sounds like Steven Adams is traveling with the team for their road games, because a lot of Grizz fan was really upset because Steven Adams wasn't traveling with the Grizzlies and is now traveling with the Rockets. Very different. You join a team midseason, you don't know any of these guys, you should probably travel with them and learn them. Steven Adams knew everybody very well here, but whatever.
Big family reunion tonight.
It will be. I mean, Dillon Brooks and maybe even Steven Adams coming in could be a lot of fun, but kind of same old, same old. See how this Grizzlies team can fight, and I'm not expecting a win by any means, but I do expect to see what we've seen really every game of these guys making it close, and you kind of raising your eyebrow in the third, fourth quarter saying, oh, this game's closer than I thought it would be.
They have kept the games fun, but in the end, just the experience and the other team having more, that should always win out, because this is a high-level basketball.
Sure.
It's not, it's not the G League that too many of our guys, too many Grizzlies, were being counted on to be there. Some of those guys weren't even counted on to be there, I don't think, this year. This time next year, the injury bug doesn't bite either team. Who should be ahead of these two teams in the Western Division? It should be the Grizzlies.
It should be the Grizzlies, yeah.
It should be, I won't say lapping them, but a three-quarter lead.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
they should be way out in front this time next year of Houston.
Yeah, I mean, I think injuries
Houston's
aside,
still building.
Yeah, I mean, I think injuries aside, this Grizzlies team next year at this time is top 5 in the West.
If there's a championship window open, it's got to be.
It's got to be. And
if they're not that, then there's no window open.
Yeah, and I think for the Rockets, I mean, I next year could see them being a playoff team, but I see them kind of at the back end of that group and not really running the tables.
I think Zach Kleiman will be able to have a big victory lap, spike the ball at everybody's feet.
Yes.
Spike it in your face
Yes.
If a year from now they're 2, 3, 4 seed,
absolutely,
on their way to 52 or 53, if they're not without injury, if they're not, then he will rue the day he talked about a window being open.
Yeah, no.
Championship window, his words.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. And, I mean, it's just – obviously the season's so weird, but, I mean, we remember what, this team was building to. And if you can get back to that next year and kind of hopefully stay away from injuries, I think this team is certainly going to be a good team. And this year, I mean, who would have expected the Timberwolves would be sitting atop the Western Conference? Who would have thought that the Thunder would be sitting atop the West? And so, I think the Grizzlies could definitely bounce back after this season of certainly misfortunes and be right near the top of the West next year.
But I'm going tonight and looking forward to it. Now, I hope this does not happen tonight. It won't be because I'm going to be up there in the kind of the press box area. But I've told you the story. 1 year on Valentine's, I go to the Pyramid. Wasn't the first year. It was year 2 or 3. And I was going to meet somebody at the game. Had a cell phone. And at the meeting place, they call, can't make it. And I didn't even have my credential. I didn't even bring it with me. So I said, well, I'm going to go in and sit in the seats anyway. So I'm by myself. And they do a deal on the Jumbotron. Like, who's the loneliest man in the stadium tonight? And the camera people, they knew me and pulled in tight on me. I'm sitting there by myself. I kind of, I'm sorry, it's me.
Yikes.
And I was the laughing stock of the arena.
That is an
Don't sit by yourself tonight,
one.
guys. Do not do it.
That is interesting. Loneliest man in the arena. That is crazy.
He's sitting over there kind of dumbfounded.
Wow. I did not
I played along
that.
after I knew that it was on me.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be something like you were with a friend and got on the kiss cam and you're like, no, we're just friends. Yeah. We're just friends. I did not expect the loneliest man. Good Lord.
Loneliest man in the building.
That is insane.
It had like an arrow through a heart,
Guys, if you're going to the Grizz game, call a buddy.
Don't go alone.
I mean, call a couple buddies. Make sure you have a backup plan tonight.
Or get over by somebody. Just don't sit off lonely by yourself.
Make friends with the person next to you. Call somebody and call them over. You can sit by me tonight. Good Lord, that's crazy. Well, hopefully
I think
it
they
is
were
a
playing the Nuggets
game.
too. In real rotten night, maybe even a Monday night. Wasn't that good of not a great crowd.
Sure. That's why. They probably just made that for you. They probably just saw you there like, what can we do to
I
make
saw
fun
the
of
cameraman at the next game when I had my credential. He goes, you didn't mind, did you? I said, no, I didn't mind
not at all. Not at all. Well, hopefully today is tonight's a competitive game against the Rockets. 7 p.m. tip-off for that one later tonight. But we need to wrap up our quick first hour here on a Wednesday afternoon. When we come back, we'll talk some SEC basketball with Blake Lovell.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
It's leap year, so jump into big savings at Gossett Kia on the Pike. New 2024 Kia Forte LXS gets 41 MPG, $239 a month, $27.99 due at signing. How about 7-passenger seating? Get 2023 Kia Sorento LX, $319 a month, $34.99 due at signing. 2024 Kia Telluride LX, $459 a month, $34.99 due at signing. All 36-month lease, and don't forget, every Gossett Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So call Bobby J to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online anytime at KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee. Forte RE722-812, MSRP 21,590. Sorrento PG 24,2710, MSRP 33,010. Telluride RG 462-822, MSRP 38,705. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 2/29/24 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-583-5795.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-583-5795. That's 800-583-5795.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Looking for the most thoughtful, most romantic gift for the one you love this Valentine's? At Genesis Diamonds, celebrating love is what we do. Maybe it's a simple pendant, or maybe it's an exquisite, one-of-a-kind designer ring. Genesis can help you pick out the most memorable and special piece of jewelry for the occasion. And to make it even sweeter, now till Valentine's, whether you spend $199 or $199,000, Genesis will give you some chocolates, fresh flowers, and dinner out at no charge. It's a one-stop ultimate Valentine's experience. When you buy any piece of beautiful jewelry, we'll give you a bouquet of beautiful flowers, some yummy chocolates, and a gift card for dinner at Restaurant Iris. So join us at Genesis Diamonds. See our spectacular collection of rings, earrings, pendants, bands, bracelets, and more. Priced from $199 to $199,000. Let our non-commissioned experts help you find that perfect ring that'll warm their heart and, for years to come, be a symbol of your love. And we'll throw in the chocolates, flowers, and dinner as our treat. Happy Valentine's Day from Genesis Diamonds. On Poplar at Perkins Extended. Limited quantity. See store for details.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Trying to clean up from the earlier wreck, filling out paperwork on 240 eastbound at Getwell. Traffic's been a mess over here today for at least an hour on 240 east from Millbridge out to Getwell as that traffic increases with more volume as you make your way up through that construction zone on 55 there at Crumb. Be careful. I-40, still lots of radar over in parts of Arkansas. This afternoon we've had some pretty bad wrecks over in Arkansas a little bit earlier. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis.